What if the swelling in your ankles, the fatigue you're blaming on age, and that persistent cough you think is just allergies are actually your heart desperately trying to tell you it's failing? Today, I'm revealing the 8 warning signs cardiologists look for first when screening seniors for heart failure. Signs so subtle that most people ignore them for months until it's almost too late. And I'll show you the one sign that appears in your bedroom every night that predicts heart failure with startling accuracy. But most seniors never connect it to their heart. Linda, a 68-year-old from Minneapolis, blamed her constant tiredness on getting older and her swollen ankles on standing too much. She dismissed her nighttime cough as seasonal allergies. 6 months later, she was rushed to the emergency room with acute heart failure that could have been prevented if she'd recognized these warning signs earlier. Sign 1. Unexplained, persistent fatigue that worsens with activity. The first sign cardiologists notice is profound fatigue that doesn't improve with rest and gets dramatically worse with even minimal physical activity. The American Heart Association reports that unexplained fatigue is often the earliest warning sign of heart failure, appearing months before other symptoms because your weakening heart can't pump enough oxygen-rich blood to your muscles and organs. This isn't the normal tiredness everyone feels at the end of a long day. This is exhaustion that feels disproportionate to what you're actually doing. You feel drained after activities that never used to tire you. Your body is literally telling you that your heart isn't delivering the oxygen and nutrients your tissues need to function properly. You feel exhausted after walking from your car to the grocery store entrance, or you need to rest halfway through making your bed. Activities that never tired you before. You might find yourself sitting down frequently during tasks you used to complete easily. You cancel social plans because you're too tired to go out. You spend more time resting than doing. This progressive fatigue is your heart's way of conserving energy because it can't keep up with your body's demands anymore. The fatigue typically gets worse as the day progresses and is always worse with any kind of physical exertion, even something as simple as carrying laundry or walking up a few stairs. As your heart continues to weaken without intervention, this fatigue progresses until you can't perform basic daily tasks, losing your independence and requiring constant assistance from family members or caregivers. Your quality of life deteriorates rapidly. Simple activities like showering, getting dressed, or preparing meals become exhausting ordeals. Many seniors at this stage end up in assisted living facilities, not because they want to, but because they physically can't manage on their own anymore. The earlier you catch this symptom and address it with your doctor, the better your chances of maintaining your independence and quality of life for years to come. Howard, 71, ignored his increasing fatigue for 8 months, assuming it was normal aging. By the time he saw his doctor, his heart function had declined to 30% of normal capacity. Track your energy levels for 1 week. If you notice consistent, unusual fatigue that's worse with activity, call your doctor immediately and specifically mention heart failure concern. Fatigue is your heart's first cry for help. Don't dismiss it as normal aging. Sign 2. Swelling in ankles, feet, or legs that worsens. Throughout the day, when cardiologists examine seniors, they immediately check for edema, swelling caused by fluid retention that your failing heart can no longer manage effectively. Johns Hopkins cardiologists state that peripheral edema in both legs is one of the most reliable physical signs of heart failure, occurring when your heart can't pump blood effectively and fluid backs up in your lower extremities due to gravity and poor circulation. This swelling typically starts in your feet and ankles because they're the lowest points in your body when you're standing or sitting. As heart failure progresses, the swelling can move up your legs to your calves and even your thighs. The swelling is usually worse in the evening after you've been upright all day and may improve slightly overnight when you're lying flat and gravity isn't pulling fluid down into your legs. Your socks leave deep indentations in your ankles by evening. Your shoes feel tight by afternoon when they fit fine in the morning. Or pressing your ankle leaves a dent that takes minutes to disappear. You might notice your pants fitting tighter around your ankles. You see visible swelling when you look down at your feet at the end of the day. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's a visible sign that fluid is accumulating in your tissues because your heart isn't strong enough to circulate it properly. The pitting edema, where pressure leaves an indentation, is particularly significant because it indicates substantial fluid accumulation that your body cannot manage. Untreated fluid retention leads to severe swelling that restricts mobility, causes skin breakdown and ulcers, and indicates your heart failure is progressing to dangerous stages where hospitalization becomes necessary. The skin on your legs can become stretched, shiny, and fragile. Wounds heal poorly because circulation is compromised. Some people develop weeping edema, where fluid actually leaks through the skin. The weight of the fluid makes walking difficult and painful. Your legs feel heavy and stiff. Standing for any length of time becomes nearly impossible. This progressive swelling significantly impacts your ability to move around, wear normal shoes, and maintain your independence. Brenda, 66, noticed ankle swelling for 3 months, but thought it was from sitting too much. It was actually early heart failure that could have been managed much earlier. Check your ankles every evening. Press your ankle bone with your thumb for 5 seconds. If it leaves a dent, photograph it and show your doctor within 48 hours. Swelling is fluid accumulation your heart can't handle. Get it checked this week. Sign 3. Sudden weight gain of 2 to 3 pounds in 1 day or 5 pounds in 1 week. Cardiologists know that rapid, unexplained weight gain is actually fluid accumulation, not fat, and it's a critical warning that your heart is losing its ability to manage your body's fluid balance. The Mayo Clinic instructs heart failure patients to weigh themselves daily because sudden weight gain of 2 to 3 pounds overnight or 5 pounds in a week indicates dangerous fluid retention requiring immediate medical attention. Each pound of weight gain represents approximately 1 pint of retained fluid that your body should be eliminating but can't because your heart isn't pumping effectively. This fluid doesn't just stay in your legs. It can accumulate in your lungs, abdomen, and around your organs, creating a medical emergency if not addressed quickly. You step on the scale and you're 3 pounds heavier than yesterday despite eating normally, or you gain 5 pounds in 1 week without changing your diet or activity level at all. Your clothes suddenly feel tighter, especially around your waist. Your rings might not fit anymore. You feel bloated and uncomfortable. This rapid weight gain happens because your kidneys, which rely on adequate blood flow from your heart to function properly, can't eliminate excess fluid when your heart isn't pumping efficiently. The fluid accumulates faster than your body can get rid of it, and the weight climbs rapidly in a way that has nothing to do with how much you're eating. Rapid fluid accumulation puts enormous strain on your already weakened heart, can flood your lungs with fluid, causing respiratory failure, and indicates your condition is deteriorating rapidly and needs immediate medical intervention. Your heart has to work even harder to pump blood through a body that's carrying extra fluid weight. Your blood pressure can become dangerously unstable. The fluid can compress your lungs from below if it accumulates in your abdomen, making breathing difficult. Some people gain 10 or 15 pounds of fluid in just a few days before they end up in the hospital. This is not a gradual weight gain you can ignore. This is a medical emergency developing in real time. Vernon, 73, gained 7 pounds in 9 days, but didn't think much of it. He ended up hospitalized with fluid in his lungs and severe heart failure. Weigh yourself every morning after using the bathroom, but before breakfast, wearing similar clothing. Write it down. If you gain 2 pounds in 1 day or 5 pounds in 1 week, call your doctor immediately. Sudden weight gain isn't about food. It's fluid your heart can't handle. Weigh yourself starting tomorrow. Sign 4. Shortness of breath. when lying flat or during minimal activity. When cardiologists ask about breathing difficulties, they're specifically listening for orthopnea, the inability to breathe comfortably while lying flat, which is a hallmark sign of heart failure that few seniors recognize as heart-related. Harvard Medical School researchers identify orthopnea as one of the most specific symptoms of heart failure, occurring when fluid backs up into your lungs because your heart can't pump efficiently, making breathing difficult when horizontal because gravity no longer helps drain fluid from your lungs. When you lie flat, blood that's been pooling in your legs due to gravity returns to your chest, and your weakened heart can't handle the increased volume. The fluid gets pushed backward into your lung tissue, interfering with oxygen exchange and making every breath feel insufficient and labored. You need 2 or 3 pillows to sleep comfortably when you used to need one. You wake up gasping for air in the middle of the night, or you get breathless walking to your mailbox. Some people end up sleeping in a recliner because they can't breathe lying down at all. You might wake up in the middle of the night feeling like you're suffocating, sitting bolt upright and gasping for air. This is called paroxysmal nocturnal dyspnea, and it happens when fluid accumulates in your lungs while you're sleeping flat. Even minor exertion, like talking on the phone or getting dressed, leaves you breathing heavily and needing to rest. Progressive breathing difficulty leads to pulmonary edema, fluid flooding your lungs, which can cause respiratory failure, requiring emergency hospitalization and possibly intensive care with mechanical breathing support. Your oxygen levels drop dangerously low. Your lips and fingernails might turn bluish. You can't catch your breath no matter how hard you try. You feel like you're drowning from the inside. This is one of the most frightening symptoms of heart failure, and one that sends people to the emergency room faster than almost any other symptom. The good news is that if caught early, before severe pulmonary edema develops, this symptom can be managed and even reversed with proper medical care. Phyllis, 69, started sleeping in her recliner because she couldn't breathe lying down. She waited 3 weeks before seeing her doctor, who found significant heart failure. Notice how many pillows you need to sleep comfortably. If you suddenly need more pillows than usual or wake up short of breath, contact your doctor within 24 hours. Breathing problems are your heart failing to keep fluid out of your lungs. Report this immediately. Sign 5. Persistent cough or wheezing, especially at night or when lying down. A chronic cough that most seniors blame on allergies or a cold is actually one of the sneakiest signs of heart failure that cardiologists immediately recognize as cardiac-related rather than respiratory. The Cleveland Clinic explains that a persistent cough, especially one that produces white or pink-tinged mucus or worsens when lying down, indicates fluid accumulation in the lungs caused by heart failure rather than any infection or allergy. This happens because fluid leaking into your lung tissue irritates your airways, triggering a cough reflex as your body tries to clear what it perceives as an obstruction. The cough is often worse at night when you're lying down, because that's when fluid shifts from your legs back into your chest, overwhelming your already struggling heart and lungs. You have a nagging cough that won't go away despite trying cough medicine. You wheeze when lying flat, or you cough up frothy or pink-tinged phlegm that looks nothing like normal mucus. The cough might be dry and hacking, or it might produce thin, watery sputum. You notice it's particularly bad when you first lie down to sleep or in the middle of the night. Some people describe a rattling or crackling sound in their chest when they breathe. The wheezing can sound similar to asthma, which is why this symptom is so often misdiagnosed and mistreated with the wrong approaches, while the underlying heart problem goes unaddressed. What you think is a harmless cough is actually fluid building up in your lungs, which progressively worsens until you can't breathe properly and requires emergency medical intervention with supplemental oxygen or even mechanical ventilation. The fluid interferes with gas exchange in your lungs, meaning oxygen can't get into your bloodstream efficiently. Your oxygen levels gradually drop, which can damage your brain, kidneys, and other organs over time. The cough becomes more frequent and more severe. You might start coughing up larger amounts of fluid. This progression can happen gradually over months or suddenly over days, depending on how rapidly your heart function is declining and how much fluid is accumulating. Kenneth, 70, treated his nighttime cough with over-the-counter medicine for 4 months. It was actually heart failure causing fluid in his lungs. If you've had a persistent cough for more than 2 weeks that worsens at night or when lying down, see your doctor and specifically ask them to evaluate your heart function. A persistent cough isn't just annoying, it could be your heart struggling. Get it checked now. Sign 6. Confusion, impaired thinking, or memory problems. Cardiologists know that cognitive changes, confusion, memory problems, or difficulty concentrating can signal that your failing heart isn't delivering enough oxygen to your brain, even though most people never connect mental changes to heart problems. Research from Duke University Medical Center shows that reduced cardiac output from heart failure significantly impacts brain function, causing cognitive impairment that's often mistaken for dementia or normal aging, when it's actually reversible with proper heart treatment. Your brain requires approximately 20% of your body's oxygen supply, despite being only 2% of your body weight. When your heart can't pump efficiently, your brain is one of the first organs to show symptoms of inadequate oxygen delivery. The cognitive changes can range from subtle difficulties with concentration to obvious confusion and disorientation that frightens family members. You suddenly can't remember familiar names. You lose track of conversations mid-sentence. You feel confused about what day it is. Or family members notice you're more forgetful than usual and express genuine concern. You might have trouble making decisions that used to be simple. You forget appointments or take medications at the wrong times. You feel mentally foggy and can't think clearly. You struggle to follow instructions or understand what people are saying to you. These changes can come on gradually over months or appear suddenly over days. Family members often notice the changes before the person experiencing them does, which is why it's so important to listen when loved ones express concern about your mental sharpness. Chronic low oxygen to your brain from an inefficient heart causes progressive cognitive decline, increases fall risk due to confusion and poor judgment, and can lead to permanent brain damage if left untreated for extended periods. Your brain cells begin to die from lack of oxygen. Your ability to live independently becomes compromised. You might make dangerous decisions like leaving the stove on or forgetting to lock doors. The confusion can lead to wandering, getting lost, or falling because you misjudge distances or forget to use assistive devices. Many seniors with undiagnosed heart failure end up in memory care facilities when the real problem is their heart, not their brain. Treating the heart problem often improves cognitive function dramatically. Gloria's family thought she was developing dementia at 72. It was actually heart failure reducing blood flow to her brain, which improved once treated. If you or your family notice sudden changes in your memory, thinking, or confusion levels, insist your doctor check your heart function, not just your brain. Confusion isn't always your brain. It could be your heart. Don't assume it's dementia. Sign 7. Rapid or irregular heartbeat. When your heart is failing, it often tries to compensate by beating faster or irregularly, and cardiologists recognize this as a critical warning sign requiring immediate evaluation and often specialized cardiac monitoring. According to the American College of Cardiology, new onset irregular heartbeat or persistent rapid heart rate in seniors often indicates heart failure or significantly increases the risk of developing it, because an irregular rhythm reduces the heart's pumping efficiency even further. Your heart might race to try to compensate for its weakened pumping ability, attempting to move the same amount of blood by beating more frequently. Unfortunately, this compensation strategy eventually fails because a heart that's beating too fast doesn't have enough time to fill with blood between beats, actually reducing efficiency rather than improving it. You feel your heart racing while sitting quietly. You notice skipped beats or fluttering sensations in your chest, or you can hear your heartbeat pounding in your ears when lying down at night. Some people describe it as their heart doing flip-flops or jumping around in their chest. You might feel dizzy or lightheaded when your heart rhythm becomes irregular. You notice your pulse feels uneven or chaotic when you check it. The sensation can be frightening, making you worried that you're having a heart attack. These irregular rhythms, particularly atrial fibrillation, which is common in heart failure patients, significantly increase your risk of stroke because blood can pool in the heart chambers and form clots. Irregular or rapid heartbeat reduces your heart's efficiency even further, can lead to dangerous blood clots and stroke, and indicates your heart is struggling to maintain adequate circulation throughout your body. The irregular beating means your heart isn't emptying completely with each contraction. Blood flow becomes turbulent rather than smooth. Your organs receive inconsistent blood supply. Your blood pressure becomes unstable. You feel weak and exhausted because your body isn't getting reliable oxygen delivery. Some types of irregular heartbeat can deteriorate into life-threatening rhythms that require emergency defibrillation. Even if the rhythm isn't immediately dangerous, the long-term effects on your already compromised heart function can be devastating. Russell, 75, felt his heart racing occasionally but ignored it. 6 months later, he was diagnosed with both heart failure and atrial fibrillation, requiring urgent treatment. Check your pulse daily. Place 2 fingers on your wrist below your thumb and count beats for 60 seconds. If it's consistently above 100, irregular, or you feel palpitations, see your doctor this week. Your heart's rhythm is a direct window into its health. Monitor it starting today. Sign 8. Reduced ability to exercise or sudden exercise intolerance. The final sign cardiologists rely on is a sudden decrease in your ability to do physical activities you previously handled easily. This is called exercise intolerance, and it's a red flag for heart failure that often appears before other symptoms become obvious. Research, published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology, demonstrates that declining exercise capacity is both an early warning sign and a strong predictor of heart failure progression in older adults because it directly reflects your heart's inability to increase its output to meet your muscles' demands during activity. When you exercise or exert yourself, your muscles need more oxygen. Your heart has to pump harder and faster to deliver that oxygen. If your heart is failing, it can't increase its output adequately, so you feel exhausted and breathless with minimal exertion. This is often the symptom that finally brings people to their doctor because it so dramatically affects their daily life and independence. You used to walk around your neighborhood comfortably, but now feel breathless after 1 block. Activities like gardening or vacuuming leave you exhausted, or you need frequent rest breaks during routine tasks you've done for years. You might stop participating in activities you enjoy because they've become too difficult. You avoid stairs whenever possible. You drive instead of walk, even for short distances. You sit down frequently while cooking or doing household chores. This progressive decline in what you can physically do is your heart's way of telling you it can't keep up with your body's demands anymore. The decline might happen gradually, over months, or relatively quickly over weeks, depending on how rapidly your heart function is deteriorating. Progressive exercise intolerance creates a vicious cycle. You move less because it's hard, which weakens your heart further and deconditions your muscles, which makes movement even harder, ultimately leading to complete loss of independence and severe disability. Your muscles begin to atrophy from disuse. Your cardiovascular fitness deteriorates rapidly. You become weaker and more frail. Simple activities of daily living like bathing, dressing and cooking become impossible without help. You lose your ability to live independently. Many people end up bedbound, not because their heart failure made it inevitable, but because they became so deconditioned that they lost the strength to get up and move. Breaking this cycle requires catching the exercise intolerance early and addressing the underlying heart problem. Thomas, 68, gradually stopped his daily walks because they became too tiring. 1 year later, he was diagnosed with advanced heart failure that could have been caught and treated much earlier. Notice what activities become suddenly harder. If your exercise tolerance drops noticeably over weeks or months, schedule a cardiac evaluation and mention these specific changes. Declining physical ability is your heart telling you it's struggling. Listen to it before it's too late. These 8 signs: unexplained fatigue, ankle swelling, rapid weight gain, breathing difficulties, persistent cough, confusion, irregular heartbeat, and exercise intolerance, are your heart's way of signaling it needs help before complete failure occurs. The good news is that when caught early, heart failure can be managed effectively, and you can maintain your quality of life and independence for years. Early detection is everything. Don't wait until you're in the emergency room. If you recognize even 2 of these signs, schedule an appointment with your doctor this week and specifically ask about heart failure screening. Early intervention can add years to your life and life to your years. Which of these 8 signs have you noticed in yourself or a loved one? Share in the comments below. Your experience might save someone's life. If this information could help someone you know, share this video with them right now. Hit that like button if you're committed to taking heart health seriously, and subscribe because I share life-saving health information for seniors every week. Your heart is sending you signals. It's time to listen.